We are the Currys.
We are the Currys.
We've been here since 2017.
And the stuff that we love the most is faith and community and family is big for us. So right when you walk in the doors, you know right away that this is a building that represents all those things. People have smiles on their faces. There's stuff for all of our family members to do, different ages. I love how clean it is. You can see people are working constantly, trying to keep this place looking nice. It's decorated nice, so there's just this warm feeling as soon as you come in. And then whether you want to get a workout in, you want to swim, play basketball, there's all kinds of activities to do. So it's not just a standard gym. There's many more activities to keep you entertained, keep you active, but then there's that feeling of being a part of a community. We both grew up in small communities. Family has been big to us. So being a part of something like this that represents everything we love makes us feel at home. So it's more than just a workout place. It's more like family.
I think it's such a wholesome atmosphere. Like, people come here to be healthy, not to be seen in like their tightest, latest workout gear. Like, it's not just like a dating app kind of in real life and living color. It's more like you can tell people come here to work out. You know, it's not, you don't feel like you're being stared at or other people are staring. You just want to be healthy. And like, as a mom, there's plenty of times I've come here and checked the kids in and I just go sit at the table. Just, you know, so for me, that's been really nice. And like Caleb said, the Christian atmosphere part, I really like. You know, there's a chaplain, or there's the bookstore up there with different books and stuff. And just the kids' room is really big. So I like that when I drop them off, they have fun, or they've had room to run around. They're not cramped in a little tiny space. But I've always felt comfortable leaving the kids, and they're always happy when I pick them up for the most part. And if they're not, I know it's just them having a rough day. It's not anything that anybody said or did.
We are the Currys, and we are the Y.
Hi, my name is Greg Bertrand. I've been here 3 years at the Y, and the reason why I've chosen the Y as employment is it's just such a wonderful community. I love the opportunity to see all these beautiful people walk into the Y, and you know that they're here for a mission. They love the idea of trying to better themselves and using that opportunity to build that community that's so important for this community. And why I think the Y is so important is that it just strengthens the community as a whole. I was not actually very familiar with the Y. I didn't realize that we had a Y here. And when I was looking for my next stepping stone to further my career, my friend actually told me the Y is always hiring, and taking that opportunity to work with kids allowed me to get that experience that I needed to head into the classroom. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, and I took that opportunity to come to the Y, and I'm currently a teacher. So I'm able to take all my passions with teaching, nurturing, and just supporting kids and bring it into my entire day. I am Greg, and I am the Y.
My name is Hudson, and my favorite thing to do at the Y is go swimming.
Hi, I'm Landon. My favorite thing to do at the Y is going outside and read a book.
My name is Bella, and my favorite thing to do at the Y is rock wall climb.
I'm Ava, and I like to hang out with my friends.
My name is Nathan, and my favorite thing to do is run around the track.
Hi, my name is Samuel, and my favorite thing to do at the Y is rock climbing, and I also love going in the swimming pool and in the lazy river and the water slide. And I also like playing in the gym some basketball and shooting some hoops. It is very fun.
Hunter, my favorite thing to do is play games.
I'm Evan, and my favorite thing to do at the Y is going on the hikes that we do almost every week, or every day actually. We sometimes eat lunch at the parks that we go to. It's really fun here, and yeah.
Hello, my name is Nick. My favorite thing to do at the Y is go to the park.
I'm Landon.
I'm Bella.
I am Ava.
My name's Hudson. I am Nathan.
I am Samuel.
I am Hunter.
I'm Evan.
I am Nick.
And I am the Y.
Good evening and welcome to the 17th annual YMCA Promenade event. I'm your host, Claire Richards, and I'm coming at you live from the Y to bring you this year's theme of Sip at Home. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we go on a wine and beer tasting adventure. Tonight, you can expect to hear from the wine and beer experts themselves as they tell us exactly why these beverages are so delicious. And hopefully those beverages are within arm's reach because we're gonna get started very shortly. So while you're sipping, or if you are one of our sponsors and are lucky enough to be nibbling away at one of the delicious charcuterie boards from our friends over at Custom Catering by Shortstop, whatever the case may be, I highly encourage you to go check out the Virtual Silent Auction. You can find it at scymca.org. So there's two reasons that you should go do this. Number one, the items are so incredible. They were brought to us by local business owners, artists, and people just like you, friends, neighbors, family. And we're so thrilled at what we got this year. Really awesome items, so go check them out. The second reason is that all of the proceeds from the Virtual Silent Auction are actually going to go towards supporting the YMCA scholarships. These are incredibly important. I'm gonna talk about them in a little bit, but go check it out. Don't forget, bidding closes at 9 p.m. So, like I said, tonight we're gonna hear from the wine and beer experts, and we're also gonna hear from Y members as they share why the Y means so much to them. I'm really excited for you to hear these stories because it takes a lot of passion and vulnerability to tell these stories, and I think they're pretty incredible. So Get ready for that. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you have thoughts to share, whether it's a question about the why, perhaps you want to tell us about what you think about the beverages, or maybe you want to share your own Why the Why story, leave a comment. We would love to hear it. And we're going to be checking it throughout the night, so please leave a comment. To kick us off, we are going to be hearing from the Executive Director of the Y, Greg Jake.
Good evening. My name is Greg Jake. I'm the Executive Director of your St. Cloud Area Family YMCA. Welcome to Promenade 2020. You are an important part of the YMCA in 50 years of healthy living, youth development, and social responsibility. I know some of you have been on this journey with us for nearly all the 50 years, and together, we're building community. We hear the word community a lot, but what does that really mean? Friends and neighbors bound by common values? By a common mission? At the Y, community means all these things and so much more, because we're about building something together that lasts. A beautiful brand new facility? Yeah. 50 years of partnership, investment, and engagement? Yes, that too. But when we say community, we're getting at the core of who we are. A beacon in the St. Cloud area for physical, emotional, and spiritual wellness, making our kids, families, and neighbors stronger. The opportunity of a healthier life for all. The generosity of you and our community has allowed us to provide over $375,000 in financial assistance this past year, and never having to turn anyone away because of their inability to pay. Because when we say community, we mean all of us, no exceptions. And we can't have all of us without you. Join us in building on the last 50 years of serving community. Become a member, donate, invite someone to become a part of your Y community, so we can move into the next 50 years. A better, stronger us, together, for all.
Thank you, Greg. Wow, 50 years. That is an incredibly long time for any organization to exist. I really think that it speaks to, it's just a testament to the strength of this community and the willingness to invest in this idea of healthy living for all. One thing that Greg mentioned that it resonates with me so much is never having to turn anyone away. I just think that that is such an incredible vision, mission, and it's amazing to see the kind of support that this community brings. So speaking of supporters, we are going to hear our first Why the Y story. We're going to hear from Melinda Tennis, who joined the Y back in 2013 and has actually since become an employee.
My name is Melinda Tennis. I've been a member at the Y since 2013. I actually joined the Y on a scholarship 7 years ago when I went to quit smoking. I knew I needed to do something because it was the umpteenth time that I quit smoking. And I talked to the membership director and she said she could get me qualified for a scholarship, which was helpful because we were broke. And we got qualified for a scholarship and I started coming and using all the fitness classes. I went to Zumba, and my first Zumba class, I about died at the 5-minute mark. I was a pack-a-day smoker. 5 minutes in, I thought I was gonna die. I left at the 10-minute mark, and the instructor was like, "Hey, thanks, come again." And she invited me back, which was great at the time, but personally, I was set back because that meant I had to come back because she invited me back. The membership director at the time, every time she saw me, she would ask me, "How many days has it been? How many days have you been smoke-free, Melinda?" And I would proudly tell her. The day I said, "Oh, I don't know, I have an app for that," and I pulled out my phone to look at the app, she said, "Don't even bother because you've officially quit smoking because you quit counting." And about a year into my membership, I convinced her to join a boot camp with me. It was one of those holiday, weight buster type boot camps where you join between Thanksgiving and Christmas to keep the weight off. And she spent the entire hour of boot camp convincing me to work for her. I was a stay-at-home mom. I really didn't have time in my schedule to work at the Y, and she was persistent. My girlfriend was in class with us also said, hey, you should try it. So I reluctantly started working for the Y, and it was honestly the best thing I have ever done. It has changed my life. We no longer qualify for the scholarship because we're in a much better financial situation. I've been smoke-free for now 7 years. I've worked at the Y for close to 6, and I love my Y because it's changed my life. It's been amazing. I'm Melinda, and I'm the Y.
I love her story about Zumba. I actually had a really similar experience when I first started coming to the Y. Zumba was one of the very first classes I tried. I was not in very good shape, and it totally kicked my butt. It was amazing. I mean, I died. I had to leave after 5 or 10 minutes, but I had a very similar experience. The instructor was so welcoming, and yeah, it's just amazing to hear those types of stories and know that there's such a welcoming environment here. I did want to show off an item from our silent auction. It is beautiful. It was given to us by DJ Bitzan. It is gorgeous. If you need an excuse to go check out the items on that list, here it is. It is gorgeous if you're looking for yourself or looking for a friend. This is so beautiful. Just a reminder, the bidding closes at 9 tonight, so make sure you get your bids in. So I wanted to talk a little bit about where the proceeds go. Now, some may know this, but the Y services 13,000 people in this community. 13,000. That is a lot of people. And they also give out around $375,000 in scholarships every year. Now, this is why it's important. When we talk about the vision, like Greg was saying earlier, the vision of healthy living for all and access to the facilities for all, that is what the scholarships do. So when you're bidding on items, or maybe you're making a cash donation, whatever the case may be, your dollars are going towards making sure that everyone in this community has access to healthy living. So it's really important. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for those of you who have had patience and have not opened your wine bottles, congratulations. I am not in that boat. I got my wine pack about 2 weeks ago, and let's just say I've had a chance to sample all of the wines in that 2-week period. But this is your moment, so grab your Tomasi Pinot Grigio, because this is the first wine we're going to walk through. So Nicholas Livingston is going to be telling us what makes this wine so great. Get out your wine glasses and get ready to enjoy.
Hello. I'm pleased to have this opportunity to speak to one of my favorite Pinot Grigios, Tomasi's La Rose. Tomasi is a household name that many of you know for its Amarone, Ripasso, or Valpolicella, which are red wines made from Corvina, Molinara, Rondinella, the great red grapes of Veneto. But little known are their white wines, and Pinot Grigio from Tomasi is exceptional because everything they grow and have grown for the last 100+ years is estate grown, which means they have complete control from vine to the glass, and that's especially important for Pinot Grigio from the Veneto. Many of those you find just have a bit richer, fatter, flatter character, but Tomasi strikes a chord with, in some ways, the acidity you're more familiar with from Friuli, which is further northwest, further Alpine, further cool climate, and that's not by accident. La Rose is named for a subplot of their Sant'Ambrogio estate, which is in the Sant'Ambrogio Valley, which is cooler by design, planted to Pinot Grigio. They've been tending this since the early 90s, and they do things a little differently here for very good reason. They harvest at night, which preserves a lower temperature, of course, which means the ferments start slower, they're more gradual, easier to control, and then they end up preserving the acidity, but also preserving the aromatics, the texture, the fruit, everything ends up expressing more of what it is thanks to that one move. In addition to that, they ferment it in stainless steel so that you have a clear vision of the terroir and the fruit that goes into this bottle. The Pinot Grigio in the bottle expresses itself with more of a tangy texture, in some part thanks to its aging on the lees, which are the yeast cells that descend to the bottom of the vat when fermenting. They impart their own texture, which can give a Pinot Grigio with a cooler mineral edge a bit of body that you usually only expect with things of higher alcohol. But this is a modest 12%, which is another reason it has such an affinity for the foods of the table. It has the acidity to stand up to light, bright seafood dishes, but it has enough richness to stand up to shellfish, langoustines, shrimp, lobster. But it is also so complex and so rich that it can do tricky things that few wines can, such as pair with soups, and also just deliver a delicious Pinot Grigio by the glass whenever you want it. We hope you enjoy it.
A modest 12%. I don't know if I've ever looked at a drink and thought a modest 12%. I don't know, there's something that's so amazing when the experts talk about the beverages. It makes it taste better, I think. So I joined the Y a year ago, just over a year ago actually. And I am so grateful to be with you all tonight because the Y has made a huge impact on me. I'd been to lots of other gyms. I had a very long failed track record of gyms. And I don't know why I thought maybe the Y would be different. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just on to my next gym. But there is something about the energy. When you walk in the building, it's the people that go here, it's the staff. There's just something about the energy. And I think it comes from just, you can find something you love here. There's so much that the Y offers that everybody can find something they love. So anyway, I'm really honored to be with you tonight. The Y's made a huge difference in my life. I was not living a very healthy life a year ago, and I feel like I've made huge strides, and I feel like I can attribute that to the Y. So honored to be with you tonight. We're gonna hear from another Y supporter. Mary Kay Wagner is going to share why the Y means so much to her.
Hello, my name is Mary Kay Wagner. I'm a member of the Y and have been for, I don't know, about 20 years, or a long time anyway. I've been very pleased with the Y. It's been something that I've felt very strongly about. I have Parkinson's disease, and so I have to take a lot of medications, and I treat the Y as one of my medications. It's my pill that I have to take every so often. And it's important that I do follow these. I go to the pool twice a week and have been for I don't know how long, but it was a big change to go from the old pool to the new pool. And we had to get used to it, but I've met friends there that we get together every Tuesday and Friday and visit and sometimes have coffee afterwards. And it's just a place that everybody is welcomed at. And there's such a diversity of people that it's fun to people watch when you're at the Y. And it seems to be welcoming to anybody who wants to come. I'm Mary Kay, and I am the Y.
We have some sponsors to thank tonight. There's no way that this event would have happened without these incredible sponsors. First and foremost, we want to thank Coborn's. Coborn's is our new beer and wine partner, and they have just been incredible to work with. Seriously, so amazing. The Promenade Packs that hopefully you're all enjoying right now, we wouldn't have been able to do that without Coburn's. So thank you so much. We also want to thank W. Goman. So thank you for sponsoring this event, but also thank you for this beautiful building we're in right now. It's hard to imagine that anyone watching the video right now has not been to this building, but if you have not, you got to make that as a priority on your list for like tomorrow. It is so, so gorgeous. Also, you know, when you talk about stand-up organizations in the community, I mean, W. Goman, they're celebrating their 70th anniversary. I mean, they've got a few years on the Y there, but 70 years, I just think it's such a testimony to the strength of this community. We also want to thank Light 99.9 with Layton Broadcasting for helping get the word out about this event. You guys did such a fantastic job. Thank you. Okay, next up, we are going to hear from Patrick Thorne. He's going to tell us all about the Cashmere Red Blend. Get out your wine glasses and get ready to enjoy.
Hi there, welcome to the YMCA Promenade virtual tasting. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Cashmere Red Blend. The Cashmere Red Blend comes from Klein Family Estates, which was started in 1982 by Fred and Nancy Klein. They continue to make lovely wine, Zinfandels, Syrahs, Chardonnays, Viogniers, a lot of really, really great stuff. They are also very environmentally friendly. They are certified sustainable through California, and they also have their green string farming method, which helps to maintain the biodiversity of the land, the biodiversity of their vineyards. And that just allows them to maintain, make sure that the land stays the way it should, and you can continue to grow on it and make lovely, lovely fruit, which they then turn into lovely, lovely wine. The Cashmere label actually started in 1998. It was originally a half-barrel special blend that was produced for a charity auction for a local hospice. When Nancy first tried this wine, she said, well, that's just like liquid cashmere. So that is where the name Cashmere comes from. To date, actually, parts of the proceeds of Cashmere have gone back to charity. They've donated up to $770,000 so far to breast cancer, to Alzheimer's, to Veterans Affairs, to local shelters. So it's a very giving family, and this wine is a big part of that. The wine itself is a blend of Mourvedre, Grenache, and Syrah. All the fruit comes from Contra Costa County, which is just to the east of Oakland. The wine itself was fermented in stainless steel and then aged for 10 months in oak, much of which was new French oak. What you end up with is a really delicious, full-bodied red wine, which I just happen to have here in my glass. On the nose, you'll get cherry, boysenberry, some pretty bright fruit, which is really, really nice. That's very typical of a blend such as this. And on the palate, you'll get some really nice, lush, dark fruits, a very silky mouthfeel, hence cashmere. You'll also get a bit of vanilla, a bit of mocha, maybe some spice. That comes from barrel aging. This wine actually is a perfect pairing for a great many things. Any grilled meat, ribeye specifically is really, really great. Roasted chicken, roasted pork, both work very, very well. A charcuterie tray is excellent with this as well. Any rich, fatty food will pair perfectly with this red blend. It also is just good to drink on its own. It's got enough lush flavors to it that you don't actually need to pair with food, but all those fruit characteristics and all that vanilla and that really wonderful lush flavors will come out when you pair it with a really, really nice, big, juicy steak. So really, this is the perfect drinking wine for the fall. Grill it or just drink it. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be excellent. Thanks.
Welcome back, you guys. The cameraman actually just dared me to smash this on the table right here, but I'm not going to do that because that sounds like a waste of beautifully delicious wine. So one thing that caught my ear when he was talking about the wine is that they have a charitable give back aspect to their business. I just think that's so powerful, and I think it's made even more powerful when you have a wine like this intersect with an event like this. Also caught my ear that it pairs well with the charcuterie board. So everybody out there who's enjoying one of those really delicious charcuterie boards from Custom Catering by Shortstop, this one's for you. So don't forget, we are live on YouTube and Facebook, and you can leave your comments. I did want to shout out Debbie and Rebecca. Thank you so much for commenting. Thanks for being with us tonight, and we're so glad that you're enjoying the beverages. Next up, we are going to hear about our First beer, the Slugfest by Summit. So get your beer glasses out, get them ready. But before that, we're going to hear from another Y member, Hung Lai, who's going to share his Why the Y story.
My name is Hung Lai. I usually live in the Egan, right, 25 years ago. And I moved out of St. Cow looking for the job, and I work at Lucky Luck 25 years from right now. And I met my wife, myself. Me and her have 3 kids. Oh, my backyard look like I usually smoking, not healthy enough. And I quit smoke 2005. And I start coming to Y, work out, make me healthy. I hope Y stay here forever. I'll be here forever till the day I can walk.
Hello there, I'm Damo McCann, the Chief Brewing Hooligan here at Summit Brewing Company down in sunny St. Paul. I hope you're enjoying this lovely September weather we're having. One way you could perhaps enjoy it a wee bit more is with a glass of one of our newer year-round beers. This is Slugfest Juicy IPA, and we launched this in the market last year. Been developing it for a couple of years now, and we really wanted to showcase a couple of different attributes with this beer. We wanted to kind of showcase some of the newer hop varieties that are available out there to the brewer. We also wanted to produce an unfiltered IPA that really retained a lot of that hop flavor and aroma in the pint glass. And we wanted something that wasn't too high in ABV. Slugfest clocks in at roughly 4.7% or so alcohol by volume. It's also not a particularly bitter beer. It's only about 45 units of bitterness. So really the emphasis is on that hop flavor, on that balance, that drinkability. There's also some really nice malts in the beer as well to provide that foundation for all of that unique hop character. Now, as I said, this beer is unfiltered, so the first thing you'll notice when you pour it into the pint glass, or you have it down the pub, is that there's a wee bit of a haze to it. So a lot of our beers, like our Pilsners and our Extra Pale Ale, will be passed through our centrifuge and then through our polish filter to really remove any haze-forming protein or yeast that might be left after fermentation. With Slugfest, we wanted to retain as much of that hop character as possible, so we decided just to run it through the centrifuge, remove those yeast particles, but leave a lot of that hop flavor and aroma intact. You can also see it's got a nice tight head. All of our beers at Summit are naturally carbonated. We're one of the few breweries left in the United States that does that, certainly on this scale. And really produces a nice, tight, stable foam, which helps project those really interesting and unique hop aromas when you get a whiff off the top here. So with Slugfest, we're using some fun American varieties like Mosaic, like Azaka. There's also a newer variety called Sultana, which has a wonderful tropical fruit characteristic. There's a lot of citrus notes in here, pineapple, mango, a little bit of grapefruit. And when you get into the pint, you can really note some intense characteristics of tangerine. Those American hop varieties really highlight tangerine and orange in this beer. You can really get that in not just the aroma, but also the flavor. There's also a bready quality to the beer from those caramel malts, and there's also a little bit of wheat malt in here as well that we use to provide the foundation of the pint. It's quite low in bitterness. It's got a lot of that hop flavor, so the finish is very, very clean. It's very, very drinkable and very, very balanced. Tis a mighty jar. Let's launch it. Hoppy deliciousness.
So one of the things that Hung Lai said that I just loved, I adored, when he said, I hope the Y sticks around forever. And I know it sounds maybe a little cheesy, but that's why we're here, right? We're all here just to make sure that the Y sticks around for the long haul. So we have a few more sponsors we want to thank. The Vineyard sponsors. We want to thank LJ Plumbing and Heating. We want to thank HMA Architects and Burnix. Thank you so much for sponsoring this event. We also want to thank the St. Cloud Times and Local IQ, as well as Textile Creative Studios for helping us with promoting this event and just supporting us through this. So, what are we supporting? I talked a little bit about the scholarship program, but I also want to talk about some of the other things that the Y offers. When COVID hit, it knocked the breath out of us all. And obviously, many of you know the Y, the building was shut down for a couple of months, and that was really hard for a lot of people. But there was a program that kept going even through all of that craziness. The Y has supervised visitations and exchanges, this program that serves over 60 families in crisis every month. And it was incredible. The Y pulled together and they made sure that those families could still take part in that program, even through the craziness of COVID, and do it in a really safe manner. So I love bringing up that story because it's just like one of those programs that sort of runs in the background that not many people know about, but it is incredibly valuable, especially to those families that it serves. So that is what we are supporting tonight. Okay, next up, we are going to hear from Nick Barth, owner of Beaver Island Brewing. He's going to be talking about the Oktoberfest, as well as my personal favorite, the Sweet Miss Oatmeal Stout.
I'm Nick Barth, co-founder of Beaver Island Brewing Company. Today we're going to talk a little bit about two of our award-winning beers. Before we go into that, I want to just thank you guys for participating and supporting the YMCA and the Promenade, and a special thanks to Coborn's Cashwise and Burnix for putting this cool box together. So let's start off with our award-winning Oktoberfest. I say that because this beer won a bronze medal at the Great American Beer Festival. In addition, it's also been the blind tasting Best of Show for the Growler magazine in both 2016 and 2019. This is a traditional Märzen lager, which means that it is brewed with all German malts and German hops, and the hops come from St. Cloud's sister city in Spalt, Germany. The first thing you'll notice about this beer is the color. It's got some great amber color, kind of a copper color to it. That's due to the malt that we use. Again, all malts come right from Germany, and our specialty malts used to make this beer. The term Märzen lager traditionally speaks to a beer that was brewed in March and then aged and cellared, or lagered as we call it in the industry, over time, and then drank and consumed in joy and jest in September. Usually Oktoberfest starts the last full week of September over in Munich or in Germany, and then runs for about 10 days. Our Oktoberfest is actually September 25th and 26th here in our south parking lot, where you can show up with a dirndl or lederhosen or in your plain clothes and enjoy in German food, beer, music, and fun. Again, our Oktoberfest award-winning, great malty aroma. If you give it a sniff, it has that great kind of biscuit maltiness to it. And then on the palate, you'll notice there's not a lot of hop profile, not a lot of bitterness. The hops are used as a preservative. Again, this beer is lagered, which means that it sits in a tank cold for over 30 days. And that's what gives it its crisp, kind of clean, refreshing characteristics. A really, really great beer. The second award-winning beer we're going to talk about is our Sweet Miss Chocolate Oatmeal Milk Stout. Now, I say this is award-winning because it won a bronze medal at the U.S. Beer Open. This beer has long since been a staple and one of our favorites as a year-round. Sweet Miss, or Sweet Mississippi as it was originally named and shortened once we started canning it, is got that dark, roasty malt color. Again, this comes from the malt, all imported. They're English malts, and it's just got a great aroma to it. It's kind of got that burnt, not burnt, but like a coffee meets like kind of a dark chocolate. It really has kind of a roastiness. That's the word I was looking for, roastiness to it. The palate is not sweet. The name calls for Sweet Mississippi or Sweet Miss, tells you that it might be sweet. It's not. This beer is made, again, with roasted malts. And then we also use some lactose or brewer's sugar, as they call it. That's where the milk part of the name, chocolate oatmeal milk stout, comes from. The milk actually kind of creates a little bit of sweetness, but then it's balanced out with the fair trade Ecuadorian cocoa nibs that we use. So they're the rawest form of cocoa. They're very bitter and actually creates a balancing act with that the brewer's sugar or the lactose or the milk part of it. And then we use some rolled oats for mid-palate weight. And what that means is we put some special oats in there that give it kind of a nice texture in the middle. Again, 2 great award-winning beers. I think they'll be a great complement to the Oktoberfest with any German food, any smoked meats, any cheeses, and then Sweet Miss is great with stewed meats. Also a great dessert beer, even though again it does not have any sweetness, it really does complement different chocolate dishes as well. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed, hope you learned a little something about these 2 wonderful brews, and again, thank you for supporting the St. Cloud YMCA, and I hope you have a great one.
Okay, so while all of you are watching those videos, I'm just sitting here obsessing about how beautiful these cans are. Something caught my eye. On the can here, it says, crafted with heart from the heart of Minnesota. Oh, I loved that so much. Okay, so I don't know if you caught that, but Oktoberfest is going on at Beaver Island. Always a good time. I know for sure it's happening on Saturday. You should go check out their website for more details. It's so much fun, and obviously, you get some delicious beverages. I have a couple more shout outs. Thank you so much for commenting. Don't forget to share your thoughts. We're now a couple beers in, a couple wines in. Tell us what you're thinking. Shout outs to Sarah and Kathy, both sponsors. Thank you so much for commenting. Also, Stephanie loves the videos. Ashley loves the charcuterie boards. Thanks you guys for sharing your thoughts. So I wanted to talk about some impact numbers. $1,000. So when someone donates $1,000, it actually sponsors a scholarship for 4 families to do an income-based annual membership. We're not talking about 4 people or even 8 people. We're talking about 4 families. So $1,000 goes towards supporting 4 families for a year. And that's healthy living for all, by the way. Next up, we're going to hear from Andrea and her son, Alex. And we're going to hear from Andrea why she chooses to be a Y member and a Y donor.
My name is Andrea Lundeen. I am originally from St. Cloud, and I'm currently a surgeon at Central Care in St. Cloud Hospital. I was raised here and then gone for about 14 years, and then I've been back now for 7 years and live here in town with my son Alex. I wish more people knew that there were so many things offered here, that you can truly find your fit. It's really easy to do so, and that it's welcoming. You don't need to be intimidated walking in the door, whether you are an Ironman triathlete or you are really out of shape and really intimidated to take a couple steps on the treadmill, that you're welcome here. So I choose to support the Y financially, and our family does. Giving back to the community is really, really important to me. I was raised here, so this is my community. I was gone for 14 years, but I chose to come back here. The why to me is because not only has it helped our family, but it is a very easy way that can be truly impactful and life-changing for a family and kids.
My favorite part of the YMCA is swimming here. My favorite part about the swimming lessons is doing the
I'm live right now. Okay, so I think that video just got cut off, but what Alex was talking about was the swimming lessons, which were so cute just hearing him talk about it. So last time when we were practicing, we talked about swimming lessons actually, because every time you walk into the Y, you see all these kids running around, and it just seems like there's so many kids that enjoy the swimming lessons here. And so I actually asked, how many kids do swimming lessons here? And it's like 3,000 every year. That is so many kids. 3,000 kids go through the swimming lessons at the Y, which got me thinking, that's basically a necessary life skill, right? Because we live in the land of 10,000 lakes. Okay, so we are going to break into the Chardonnay. Nicholas Livingston is going to come back and tell us all about what makes this a delicious Chardonnay.
Hello, I'm here to speak today about McCrosty Chardonnay. It's from the Sonoma Coast. It's a blend of 5 different vineyards, 3 from Russian River Valley, 1 from Carneros, and 1 from McCrosty's very own Wildcat Vineyard in the Sonoma Coast. This is cool climate Chardonnay. This means it retains enough acidity to balance guava, passion fruit, pineapple, tropical notes with a mineral backbone and absolutely delicious structure. It's mouth-watering, it's food friendly, it can pair with anything from lighter ceviche, sushi, but also pair well with roast birds or richer rice dishes. It's a delight. They've been farming their own plot since 1987, and Steve McCrosty, who founded the Wildcat Vineyard, has been working with local growers, the other 4 of which he's been working with since then, so long that they're all sustainably grown, certified, and they are very deft in terms of their touch, both in the vineyard and in the cellar. The wine is pressed and then it sees some time, 6 months, in French oak barrel, only 17% of which is new, and it just contributes a little spice to the finish. The balance, 15%, is aged in stainless steel, which helps preserve the bright mineral acidity that you want to help balance some of those riper California notes. It has a lot of citrus. It has a bright, uplifting character to it. It's not a butter bomb by any means. It's not going to cross that line where it pulverizes your food. Instead, it's invigorating, refreshing, light, and bright. Nimble at the table. It can pair with so many things, but is just as easy to drink on its own. So it's easy to like. Sonoma Coast is historically significant because it sort of heralded the departure from the big heavy set oak knockouts, the big TKO Chardonnay of yesteryear, and in some ways helped develop California as a counterpoint to Burgundy, in a way that it could have ripe fruit, almost like a Merceau, but then dial back in terms of heft and weight and alcohol and give you a balanced wine that can age longer in the cellar, but how long is it going to last when it tastes this good? We hope you enjoy it, and we're keen to know what you think.
Thank you to our friends over at the McCrosty Vineyards for telling us all about this wine. So I was just thinking the other day, one of the nice things about this event and being involved is that after all of this is over and when social gatherings become appropriate again, I'm definitely going to have at least 4 wines and 6 beers that I can bring to different gatherings and be like that person, the person who knows about the wine. I'm not going to be graceful about it. I'm sure I will be incredibly annoying. It's not going to be like subtle hints here and there. I'm just going to walk in like a dictionary and basically just let everybody know all the things I know about these 4 wines and 6 beers. Okay, we are next going to hear from another Y member. He is so sweet. We would like to welcome James to share his Why the Y story.
My name is James Barnett. I've been a member at the YMCA for 6 months now, and I love coming here. I come every day. It's for the benefit of my health and meeting new people. We got new members here I meet all the time. They're great. The staff is wonderful. Anything we need, they have it for us. We have to talk to them about anything. They have time to talk to us, and I like coming here. I love coming. I'm here every day, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. every day. If anybody need anything from me, they ask James, I need help with this. I'm there to help them, just like they are to help me. And they've been helping me, the community and all. Beautiful place to be. And I love coming to the YMCA. The why is important for our community is to get everybody involved at all ages, because we have kids on here from babies on up, you know. It's good for the community. They have a lot of different programs here for the community, and they love coming. People love coming here. I'm James Barnett, and I'm the Y.
Thank you, James, so much. We have a few more sponsors that we want to thank. Thank you to BCI and Preferred Credit, not only for sponsoring this event, but also for being corporate members, which is incredibly important. Okay, so I have a bit of a story to share. When I first started coming to the Y, I tried out all sorts of different classes, and when I sort of started to settle in, I came to spin class almost every week with one of my great friends. I think she's watching now. Hi, Angela, if you're watching. But I came every week to spin class, and as you're entering the spin room, you'll notice a little plaque, and it has the BCI logo. So when I saw that initially, I don't think I would have understood the significance or importance of that plaque. But as you walk through the Y, you see these plaques everywhere. You see, stickers on the wall and signs hanging up, all with individuals' names or business logos. These are the individuals, the businesses, and the business leaders who have put their money where their mouth is and decided to support the Y because it aligns with their own values. So next time you're here, look around, notice those signs, notice those names, and when you see those people, maybe consider saying thank you because they've made a huge impact on our local community. Okay, we are going to dive into our final wine. We're going to hear about the Herald wine, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did 2 weeks ago.
G'day, Nick Goldschmidt here. I'm the winemaker for Herald, and Herald is a brand that we make under Goldschmidt Vineyards, and it means the proclamation for great vineyards and great varietals right here in the heart of the Alexander Valley. And today I'm going to be talking about Cabernet Sauvignon. And this is a really special vineyard and a really special wine because so much of the characteristic of Cabernet is in that spicy style. And I mentioned when I was talking about the Merlot, for those who've watched the Merlot video, Carmenere is the greenest, spiciest red grape varietal you can imagine, then Sauvignon Blanc, and then Cabernet Sauvignon. And typical Cabernet Sauvignon will give you a little spicy, a little green character. And so winemakers tend to pick Cabernet over 15 alcohol. If you drink wines at that level, you're not experiencing the real Cabernet Sauvignon. You need to get alcohols around about 14.5, 14.2 even, to really get the real heart of what Cabernet is all about. This vineyard, though, is spectacular. The yields are really low. The vines are really healthy and with good, powerful canopies, and so we don't get any sort of dehydration. Merlot weighs about 1.2 grams, Cabernet weighs about 0.95 grams, and this vineyard weighs about 0.85 grams. So these berries are extremely small, so great skin to pulp ratio, and that's what makes this wine really unique and really exciting. So let's go ahead and open this. This is the Cabernet Sauvignon from Herald. Great little vineyard in the southwestern side of the Alexander Valley, very near the town of Healdsburg. In fact, we grow the Merlot from the same vineyard. And we're going to go ahead and open it and see how we get on here. So immediately a little more red than purple. The purple color was more inherent in the Zinfandel and the Merlot, and this is the Cabernet. Cabernet has the purple hue, purple edge, but the density is more red than the other two wines. And same thing in the nose. You get a little bit more, instead of the blueberry and the red cherry and maybe a little black cherry, with Cabernet, with this Cabernet in particular, I'm getting more of the black cherry, black plum, and even a little bit more of the black berry character. So it's fuller, it seems more complex. We put a little bit more wood on this than we do with the Merlot and Zin. And much deeper, very, very full, very ripe. Man, it tastes great. Yeah, and the mouth is full, it's rich, it's vibrant at the same time. But it's because the vineyard is so unique. This is one of the last vineyards that we pick, so the hang time from flowering to harvest is much longer than most of the Alexander Valley, and certainly later than anything that we do in the Napa Valley. Again, a little bench side vineyard sitting above the Alexander Valley, the Russian River in the Alexander Valley, and just a beautiful, beautiful location. I'm going to have another sip again just to make sure that I'm completely true in what I'm saying. Fantastic. I just love the richness and the suppleness of the tannins. Anyway, I'm going to go on drinking this after this video is finished. Salud. Hope you enjoy the wine. Again, Cabernet Sauvignon, Alexander Valley, Herald. Beautiful. Cheers.
Salud. His accent was incredible. I've just been informed that there is a showdown going on in the Facebook comments about the virtual silent auction. Love me a good showdown. You should go check that out. Don't forget, comment. We'd love to give shout outs to everybody who's already commented. I do want to shout out Debbie, who commented that she's really glad that the supervised visitation program continued during COVID. Yeah, just another reminder of how powerful that is. Okay, so I come from a background in marketing. I work over at Layton Interactive, which is in downtown St. Cloud. And if there's anything that I've learned as a marketer, it's the power of stories. You have to be able to tell a compelling story, and you have to make sure that that story is heard. But another really important thing is numbers. You have to be able to back those stories up with data and information. So I wanted to share a few numbers with you. So $50. $50 actually helps sponsor a scholarship for a nonprofit community member to come in and use the facilities, whether that's for adaptive aquatics, strength training, physical, social therapy, and so much more. $130. $130 helps sponsor a scholarship for 2 children for a full week of summer camp. Parents out there know a full week of summer camp has been very necessary this year. $250 goes towards sponsoring a scholarship to support a family participating in those supervised visits and the exchange program for 12 sessions. So everything that I was talking about earlier, $250 goes towards supporting a family there. $500 sponsors a scholarship for 30 children to teach them life-saving water skills. Obviously a must in the land of 10,000 lakes. And then I mentioned this before, it's worth mentioning again, $1,000 goes towards sponsoring a scholarship to afford 4 families an income-based membership every year. The impact, it just goes so far beyond what you would think with those kind of dollars. Okay, we are next going to hear from Dick Leinenkugel, who's going to tell us all about the Harvest Patch Shandy and the Leinenkugel Spritzen. So get out your beer glasses and enjoy.
Hello everyone, I'm Dick Leinenkugel, president of the Jacob Leinenkugel Brewing Company here in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. I'm coming to you from our Leinie Lodge here in Chippewa Falls, and we've been pleased to be welcoming guests back to the Leinie Lodge this summer, and we're open this fall, so if you're in the area of Chippewa Falls, come on over and see us here at the Leinie Lodge. We are really pleased to support the St. Cloud area YMCAs. We're big supporters of the YMCA here in the Chippewa Valley. In fact, I'm a YMCA member, and we're delighted that we're able to help out the St. Cloud YMCAs during your annual Promenade fundraiser. One of our featured beers this fall is our Leinenkugel's Harvest Patch Shandy. Of course, Summer Shandy is our most popular selling beer, and we took our ever-popular shandy base and flavored it with all the flavors of fall. So this Harvest Patch Shandy comes to you with 3 of my favorite ingredients of fall because they're all found in a pumpkin pie. Nutmeg, allspice, and cinnamon. So you can see that it pours that really nice hazy color with a nice white foam head. And when you go to smell this beer, that is fall in a bottle. So be sure to try our Leinenkugel's Harvest Patch Shandy. If you're looking for some food to pick up, heartier dishes, the heartier dishes of fall. I think of pork roast. That's absolutely fabulous, but you could also pair this with a dessert. And anything with a little bit of spice or cinnamon. You know, I think of an apple crisp. I think it would be absolutely perfect. Of course, my favorite pie of fall is pumpkin, and this is going to be a natural complement to pumpkin pie. One of the new products that perhaps you haven't tried yet from Leinenkugel's is our Leinenkugel's Spritzen. I have today our Leinenkugel's Grapefruit Spritzen. You can buy a standalone 6-pack of our Grapefruit Spritzen. We also have 12-pack variety packs
of all 3 flavors of our spritzing. The other flavors are raspberry lemonade and pineapple strawberry, but this is perhaps one of my favorites, the Leinenkugel's grapefruit spritzing. It comes in this really attractive slim can, 12 ounces, and what's really nice about this beer, it's splashed with seltzer. So that's what spritzen is in German. Spritzen means splash. So it's a beer. It's 93 calories, 2.2 carbs. So our lightest and lowest carb beer. And you can drink it right out of the can or pour it in a glass. You'll see that it's a very light straw colored beer. It pours up to a nice head. And as I said, it is beer though with a splash of seltzer, a spritzen of seltzer. And this one is the grapefruit, really refreshing. It's got that nice hint of grapefruit aroma. Just like you sliced a fresh cut grapefruit. And when you go to drink this beer, it is really light, really refreshing. It's going to wipe away on the palate. And I would like to pair this with maybe a lighter style food. So I'm thinking salads, maybe a nice fall salad with some craisins in it, maybe some walnuts, some fresh greens, and a lighter style vinaigrette. I think would be absolutely fantastic with this. I think you could also pair with something a little bit heartier that's deep fried as an appetizer, maybe some Wisconsin cheese curds. I think would be really good with this. So go to your Coborn store and find something to pair with our Leinenkugel's grapefruit spritzen. As I said, it's available in a 6-pack, and you can help support your St. Cloud YMCA Promenade Fundraiser. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for supporting Leinenkugel's, thank you for supporting Coborn's, and most importantly, thank you for your support of the St. Cloud Area YMCA in our annual Promenade Fundraiser. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Melinda, and I've been a member of the Y since 2017. The Y is a great place, obviously, to work out. It's beautiful, but I love bringing my granddaughter to go to swimming lessons, and my grandson got to learn how to play racquetball. I love seeing the older members of our community being able to stay socially and physically active because of the Y. And I also know how important the Y is to those families where they need to do visitation with their kids to have supervised visitation. That's why the Y is important to me. I'm Melinda, and I am the Y.
As a Y member, I have been on and off, unfortunately, since 1995. I moved here from my hometown to go to college. For me, I was a swimmer. I was a swimmer in high school, and I needed to go back to the pool. The YMCA was a great opportunity for me to continue my swimming and keep me, gaining too much weight during the college years. I love the YMCA. In high school, I worked with a local day camp in Monticello, and on top of that, when I went to college in Brainerd, I worked at the YMCA in the child care program, and that's when I decided I wanted to go into child care as a career, was through the YMCA. I would say the YMCA has been a big part of our family. I wanted to make sure that when she was born 20 years later, I needed her to be in the water and prepared, and the YMCA offered an infant class for her to start swimming. So I wanted her active and get used to the water and be a swimmer just like Mom. The YMCA has offered so many programs for the community as well. I currently work at the St. Cloud Hospital, and I know the YMCA and the hospital are very close in community involvement. I want to make sure that she also knows the community involvement, and therefore we participate in a lot of programs here. Starting out with the YMCA day camp, which has been really nice for me to be at the hospital here, only a couple blocks away, and I know that she's having fun at the YMCA camp. I know she does a lot of activities. She does arts, she does crafts, she tells me about movie days, she tells me about her snacks, she tells me all about her friends. And then we also do swimming lessons because I want to keep her really safe around water, because this is Minnesota and we have a lot of water. We just enjoy the YMCA as a whole. She's always having so much fun, and she always hands me her lots of coloring pages when I get back. I know she has fun with all her kids. She tells me all about all her friends. So I think the YMCA for us has been a real positive adventure. My name is Betsy, and this is my daughter Kenzie, and we are the Y.
Thanks, Dick, for sharing about the beers. Also, thank you, Melinda, Kenzie, Betsy, for sharing your stories. We really appreciate it. Okay, so not to add fuel to the fire, but I did want to point out this beautiful table that was donated to us from Ashley Green and Debbie Clausen. I believe this might be one of the items that is currently in the Facebook showdown. So if you haven't checked out those comments, you definitely should. I wanted to talk about another program that the dollars raised tonight is going to help support. COVID, what a mess. It has been incredibly hard for so many people, especially parents who are right now trying to figure out the muck and the mire of school and childcare and so much confusion. So the Y has actually extended their summer camps because they're trying to help address that need in childcare and help parents out. So all my parents out there, you know how hard it's been, and the Y is here trying to help. So I do have a couple of shout outs. Number one, everybody watch out. Stephanie Tyson just said that she's gonna wait until like just before 9 p.m. and outbid you all. So watch out for that, a little bit of competition. Also a shout out to Matthew. So Matthew is actually one of the staff members here. He commented on YouTube and just said that it feels like a second home working here, that he loves his coworkers, which is really fun. It truly is a family. When you walk around and you see all of the staff members interacting with one another, it's pretty clear. They've got a great culture here. Okay, so we have one last thirst-quenching beer. I know you've been waiting for the moment to try this. The new Summit Triumphant Session IPA. This is the last beer. I hope you all enjoy.
Hello there, I'm Damo Macan. I'm the Chief Brewing Hooligan here at Summit Brewing Company in sunny St. Paul. Today we're going to sample a wee bit of our newest year-round beer, Triumphant Session IPA. So we've really been working on this beer for probably over a year now, and we wanted to create a beer that is quite low in calories and carbohydrate, and indeed low in ABV, alcohol by volume, but still has a lot of flavor and character, balance, and drinkability. So Triumphant is pretty much a hop-forward beer. We really wanted also to showcase a new experimental hop variety from one of our suppliers out on the West Coast. So this beer features a new variety called 09326, which is a brand new variety. It's only been really developed in the last couple of years. It's so new it doesn't even have a name. So it doesn't have one of those quirky names like Citra or Amarillo or Cascade or something like that that you might be familiar with. We really like it because it's a wee bit different. It provides a different aroma and flavor profile to this beer. It's got very, very berry-like characteristics. It's got a wee bit of tropical notes in there as well. It's very unlike any other hop variety that we've really used here at Summit over the last couple of years. Now, Triumphant is very, very light in color. It's quite pale. There's actually really a large number of malts in this beer to try and contribute quite a bit of complexity and depth to the overall flavor profile. So we have some malts from the UK, we have some malted barley from here in the States, and we also have a wee bit of German malt in there as well. But really the focus is on the hop character of the beer. It's on that experimental hop variety. We also have a couple of German varieties in there as well to add a little bit more depth to the overall hop flavor and profile. You can see it's actually quite bright in color. We decided to filter this beer. A lot of pale ales and IPAs that are coming out today are very, very hazy. We wanted to go in the opposite direction. We wanted a really nice, bright, polished beer. Really is a very, very pretty color and has a tremendous hop aroma. It's very thirst quenching on a warm September day here. There's a real challenge in making these types of beers. They have very little in the way of calories. There's about 95 calories in Triumphant. Not a whole lot of residual carbohydrate. There's only about 3.5 grams of carbs. The key there is that we don't want the beer to come across as a hop tea. We want it to have a fair bit of body, have a fair bit of balance, and have some depth. And that requires a little bit of brewing magic, and requires a little bit of technique. It really requires an understanding of how to integrate the malt and the hops appropriately in the recipe. Now, when we're sampling Triumphant, and this goes for pretty much any beer, the first thing we're looking at is the color and the clarity in the pint glass. It's very, 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 very clear, very, very bright, as we'd say in the brewing industry. We filter this beer very gently. We just want to clean it up a wee bit, remove any of the residual yeast that's left in there after fermentation, any of the hop compounds that have remained in the beer, the hop material after dry hopping. So you can see it's nice and bright, nice and clear. Next, we want to take a look at is the foam. When you pour a pint of beer, we really want to see a nice head of foam on the beer. And it's not just a visual appeal. It really is important to help project the aromatics of the malt, and especially the hops that are present in the beer. We naturally carbonate all of our beers at Summit. So we really get a nice, tight, clean, thick head of foam. Like I said, it looks great on the pint glass, but also really helps us appreciate the aromas of the beer. In Triumphant, there's a lot of those really nice berry-forward aromas and flavors. There's a little bit of a citrus note in there. There's also some really nice malt characteristics that are projected by the foam. And then in the middle of the palate, when you actually taste the beer, you want to get some bready qualities, a little bit of sourdough, a little bit of bread crust that really comes from those malts that we have as part of the recipe. And then there's a really nice punch of hops in there. Nice and clean in terms of the bitterness. And finally, just as the beer kind of slides over the back of your throat, we're looking for that really nice, refreshing, clean, thirst-quenching burst right at the end. There's a mighty jar on a warm September day. Sláinte. Mighty stuff.
Wow, what a night. We hope that you've enjoyed all the beer, all the wine, all of the stories. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, bidding on the virtual silent auction closes at 9. Get your bids in or consider giving a cash donation. So appreciative, all going to an excellent cause. We have so many people to thank, so many people. First and foremost, thank you to the wine and beer experts for telling us all about the beverages. Seriously, such good information. We want to thank the Y members who shared their stories. Such a powerful and emotional, often, thing to do. So thank you for doing that. Huge, huge shout out to the sponsors. There is no way this event could have happened without sponsors. So thank you so much. We couldn't list you all by name. I wish we could. There's so many of you to thank. Please, please continue to support the Y because it's important. Okay, I have a personal shout out that I want to give. I want to thank, and I'm looking at all of the volunteers that are here tonight. I want to thank all of the volunteers and the staff members at the Y who put on this event. Anybody who's been to the Promenade before knows that it's normally an in-person event. And in a matter of months, they completely pivoted, changed the entire dynamic of the event, and brought it to this virtual space, which I think is pretty innovative. And it's such a fun idea. So congratulations to all of you. Seriously, incredibly well done. Well done. Okay, last and definitely not least, I want to thank all of you. Thanks for taking time out of your night. Thanks for purchasing the Promenade Packs. Thank you for donating and for bidding. We couldn't do this without you. So on behalf of the Y, thank you and good night.